There's something remarkable happening in the invisible world right now, something that transcends the ordinary boundaries of what we call reality, and it involves you in ways you haven't fully recognized yet. Someone, yes, a specific soul walking this earth, has fallen so deeply, so completely in love with you that their entire energetic field has become entangled with yours, creating what ancient mystics used to call the red thread of fate. This isn't the casual affection of passing attraction or the surface-level interest that fades with the morning light. This is a kind of love that rewrites someone's internal compass, that makes them question everything they thought they knew about themselves, that keeps them awake at 3 a.m. thinking about the way you laugh or the particular way you see the world. And tonight, the universe had conspired through 1,000 tiny adjustments of circumstance and courage to bring this hidden truth into the light. You might have sensed something shifting lately, haven't you? Perhaps you felt an unusual warmth when thinking about someone specific, or maybe you've noticed how certain conversations linger in your mind longer than they should. That's because love, real love, doesn't live only in one heart. It creates a bridge, an energetic pathway between two souls, and you've been walking on that bridge without realizing it. The remarkable thing about this moment in your life is that you're standing at the threshold of revelation that will recontextualize so many small moments you've already lived through. All those times they found reason to be near you, all those conversations that seemed to carry extra weight, all those glances that lasted a fraction of a second too long. These weren't random occurrences. They were someone's heart trying desperately to communicate what their lips couldn't yet say. And the cosmos, in its infinite wisdom, has decided that tonight is a night when silence transforms into sound, when hidden feelings step into the light, when someone's vulnerability becomes their greatest act of bravery. If you're feeling a strange flutter in your chest right now, if something inside you is whispering, pay attention, that's not your imagination. That's your intuition recognizing a truth before your conscious mind can name it. The invisible thread connecting you to this person is vibrating with anticipation, humming with the frequency of something about to be spoken into existence. Breathe into this moment. Let yourself feel whatever is arising without judgment or fear, because what's coming isn't meant to disrupt your peace. It's meant to show you a possibility you may not have considered, a doorway you didn't know was there. Let's talk about the language the universe speaks when it's trying to get your attention, because lately, it's been practically shouting your name through a series of signs and synchronicities that you've probably dismissed as mere coincidence. Have you been seeing repeated number sequences, perhaps 1111 or 222 or 333, appearing on clocks, receipts, license plates, with an almost humorous frequency? These numerical patterns are the universe's way of winking at you, of saying something significant is in motion. Have you received unexpected messages from this person? Texts that seem to arrive precisely when you were thinking about them, creating that eerie sensation of telepathic connection? That's not random chance. That's two souls operating on the same frequency, vibrating in harmony even across physical distance. Maybe you've had dreams recently, vivid and emotionally charged dreams where this person appeared, where conversations happened that felt more real than most of your waking interactions, where you woke up with your heart racing and a strange certainty that something meaningful just occurred in another dimension of reality. Those dreams weren't just your subconscious processing information. They were actual meetings happening in the realm where souls communicate without the limitations of physical bodies or spoken language. The angels and spirit guides surrounding you have been working overtime to prepare you for tonight's revelation, dropping hints into your awareness like breadcrumbs leading to an inevitable destination. Perhaps you felt inexplicable warmth in your chest when thinking about this person, or maybe you've experienced random waves of motion that seem to come from nowhere, making you wonder if you're somehow picking up on feelings that aren't entirely your own. You are. Love is energy, and energy doesn't respect the boundaries we think exist between separate individuals. When someone loves you deeply, their emotional field expands and touches yours, creating moments of unexplainable knowing, sudden mood shifts that mirror what they're feeling, intuitive hunches about their state of being. And if you've been feeling called to reach out to someone lately, if a specific name keeps echoing in your mind, if you found yourself wondering, what are they thinking right now more often than usual? Acknowledge that pull. That's not obsession or randomness. That's the invisible thread tugging at your awareness, trying to prepare you for the moment when everything hidden becomes visible. The synchronicities you've been experiencing aren't isolated events. They're part of a larger orchestration, a cosmic setup for tonight's unfolding. Every sign you've noticed, every coincidence you've experienced, has been building toward this specific moment when someone's carefully guarded secret finally breaks through the surface of normal interaction and transforms into honest, vulnerable truth. Open yourself to recognizing these patterns. They're love notes from the universe, telling you that magic is real and heading your direction. While you've been moving through your days, attending to your responsibilities, living your life with its normal mixture of joy and challenge, someone has been fighting an internal war that you knew nothing about, a battle between the crushing fear of rejection and the overwhelming need to speak a truth that's been burning inside them like a sacred flame they can no longer contain. Imagine what it takes to look at another human being and decide to hand them your heart, fully aware that they have the power to treasure it or shatter it, knowing that in the space between your confession and their response lies an eternity of vulnerability that cannot be taken back once crossed. This person has been living in that space for longer than you realize, rehearsing words in the shower, practicing scenarios in her mind at 2 a.m, writing and deleting messages countless times, gathering fragments of courage like someone collecting scattered pieces of broken glass to forge into something whole and sharp and true. They've asked themselves 1,000 questions. What if I ruin everything? What if they don't feel the same? What if this changes our connection in ways I can't predict? And yet, despite every rational argument for continued silence, despite every fear whispering, stay safe, stay hidden, something deeper and more powerful has been growing in them. A knowing that some truths demand to be spoken regardless of consequence, that living with expressed love and possible rejection is ultimately braver than die with unexpressed love and certain regret. Tonight represents the culmination of their private journey from silent longing to active courage, from safe observation to dangerous honesty. They've been preparing for this in ways both conscious and unconscious, choosing the right moment, finding the right words, building up reserves of bravery by reminding themselves that you deserve to know how deeply you've impacted another person's existence. Because that's what you've done to them. You become the reason they believe in a possibility of genuine connection, the proof that something extraordinary can exist between two people, the living evidence that their heart still has the capacity to feel this deeply, this purely, this powerfully. And while fear is absolutely present in their system right now, perhaps even as you're receiving these words, perhaps building in them as the hours move toward tonight's appointed moment, love is proving itself stronger. Love is pushing them forward despite trembling hands and racing heartbeat and the very real possibility that everything could change in ways they can't control. Honor this. Even if you don't yet know who this person is or what they're about to say, honor the sacred act of someone choosing vulnerability over safety, choosing truth over comfort, choosing to risk everything because keeping the secret has become more painful than any rejection could be. What they're about to do requires a kind of courage most people never access in their entire lifetime. The courage to stand emotionally naked before another soul and say, "This is who I am. This is what I feel. And I'm giving you complete power to do with this truth whatever you will." There's a specific moment crystallizing in time right now, moving toward you like a wave you can't see, but can somehow feel in the deepest part of your knowing, a moment when the ordinary world will suddenly crack open and reveal something extraordinary hiding underneath the surface of normal interaction. It might happen over dinner, with candlelight reflecting in nervous eyes as words tumble out that have been imprisoned behind closed lips for far too long. It might unfold beneath a ceiling of stars, where the vastness of the universe somehow makes confession feel both terrifyingly significant and beautifully small. It might arrive through the glow of your phone screen, in a message that takes your breath away, that makes you read the same sentences 5 times because your brain needs repetition to accept that these words are actually real, actually intended for you, actually shifting the entire foundation of a relationship you thought you understood. However this moment arrives, and make no mistake, it is arriving, moving toward you with the inevitability of dawn after darkness. There will be a pause in time itself, a suspended second where the past and future seem to collapse into a single point of infinite possibility. You'll feel your heart skip, your breath catch, your entire nervous system light up with the recognition that something unchangeable is happening right now. And in that pause, before your mind fully processes what you're hearing or reading, before your logical brain catches up with your emotional reality, There will be a choice presenting itself to you. Not a choice of words necessarily, but a choice of energetic response. Will you meet this confession with openness or defensiveness? Will you let yourself feel the enormity of being loved this way? Or will you immediately retreat into analysis and self-protection? Will you honor the courage it took for this person to speak their truth, regardless of whether their feelings mirror your own? Because here's what matters most in this moment that's rushing toward you. Someone is about to place their heart in your hands with a trust that defies logic, a hope that transcends fear, a belief that you are worth the risk of total vulnerability. And how you receive that offering, with gentleness or carelessness, with honoring or dismissing, with presence or distraction, will determine not just the immediate outcome, but the ripple effects that flow from this night into countless tomorrows for both of your souls. If this person's feelings awaken something reciprocal in you, if you suddenly realize that what you've been calling friendship or casual affection has actually been love wearing a disguise to protect itself, then this moment becomes the beginning of something beautiful and terrifying and real. But even if their confession doesn't ignite romantic feelings in you, even if your truth is different from theirs, you still have the opportunity to participate in something sacred. The act of seeing another person's vulnerability and responding with compassion, with respect, with the acknowledgement that being loved, even when we can't return in the same form, is always a gift. Tonight will reveal something, but what it reveals depends partly on how open you allow yourself to be. But here's where this story takes a turn that neither of you might be expecting, where the angels who've been orchestrating these events start smiling, because they know something that hasn't been revealed yet. There's a layer to this confession, a hidden dimension to what's about to be spoken, that carries implications beyond the simple declaration of feelings. This person who has fallen madly in love with you, who has gathered every fragment of courage to speak their truth tonight, is also carrying a secret within their secret. Something they might not even fully articulate in their initial confession, but that exists nonetheless. Pulsing beneath the surface of their words like a heartbeat beneath skin, it might be that their feelings have unlocked something in them, a realization about their life's direction, a decision they've been avoiding, a truth about themselves that loving you has forced them to acknowledge. It might be that this confession is tied to a timeline, to circumstances that make tonight particularly significant in ways that will only become clear as you dig deeper into conversation. It might be that they've been receiving their own signs and synchronicities, their own cosmic guidance pointing them toward you as not just a romantic possibility, but as a catalyst for something larger, something transformational that involves both of your destinies in ways neither of you currently understand. The universe doesn't arrange these kind of revelations casually. When someone is pushed by forces beyond their control to finally speak what they've been holding, it's because there's a bigger pattern unfolding, a larger story being written that requires this moment of truth as its foundation. And so while tonight will absolutely bring the confession you're sensing, while words of love and longing will absolutely be spoken into the space between you, there's also a question embedded in this entire situation that won't be answered tonight. A mystery that will only deepen as the initial shock of revelation settles into your awareness. What is the real reason the universe brought you into this person's life? What is the actual purpose of this connection beyond the surface narrative of romantic feelings? What transformation is trying to birth itself through the vehicle of this love confession? And perhaps most intriguingly, what role are you meant to play in this person's evolution? And what role are they meant to play in yours that require this exact moment of vulnerability to unlock? These are questions that don't have immediate answers, that require you to stay present with the unfolding rather than rushing to conclusions or trying to force clarity before it's ready to emerge. Because sometimes the universe gives us pieces of the puzzle slowly, reveals truth in layers, asking us to trust the process even when we can't see the complete picture. Tonight you'll get the first revelation, but it's only the beginning. What comes after depends on whether you're willing to stay curious, stay open, stay attentive to the deeper currents moving beneath the surface of this unexpected confession.